Welcome back to another episode of the Maryland Made podcast. The Maryland Made podcast provides timely, relevant, and practical information to help student athletes and alumni become leaders, develop professional competencies, and be conscientious advocates in both their local and global communities. I'm Jaiden Ritter, a junior on the Maryland Track and Field team, and joining me today to continue our More Than an Athlete series are my teammates, Ariana and Kattiana Ealy-Pulido. I'm excited to go before, between, and beyond with them while discussing what more than an athlete means to us. How are y'all doing today?
We're good.
Good. That's great to hear. Lovely to see y'all faces this morning.
Likewise.
Currently, we're all members of the Maryland Track and Field program, but before we talk about what y'all are doing now, tell me a little bit more about your upbringing and how your childhood has shaped you into who you are today.
So I'm gonna just start off and say that we're originally from Houston, Houston, Texas to be exact. We are a long ways from home, but we made a change for a greater outcome. To answer your question, I would definitely say that the way that we were raised have impacted our lives. We come from an athletic background. My dad ran track. My parents owned their own gym at one point. I would say that this definitely created our competitive nature that we have with each other. It's always been my sister and I working together, pushing each other. My dad was basically like our coach when it came to anything. He has shown us how to save, how to maintain a credit score, how to make payments on credit cards, And I think just learning those things at such a young age has prepared us for the real world, and it has given us a taste of what to expect.
That all sounds very good. Ari, do you have anything to add?
No, I think she nailed it. So
now, so was your dad, was he also actually your like track and field coach throughout your lives?
not necessarily. He wasn't specifically our track coach, but he always pushed us on the side. So we had a trainer, and then he would always make us do extra work. Like when we got home, hey, make sure I do abs, make sure I do this. So he was kind of like that little support system outside of our trainers.
Yeah, in track and field, that's always definitely a good thing to have, like those people who are like not necessarily there when you're there practicing, but when you come home are like pushing you to keep doing the little things that make a big difference to get you to where you want to be. So when did y'all start running track, and when did you know you guys could be collegiate student athletes?
So we started running track in 7th grade, which I think is pretty late because I know most people start running track like when they're 5 or so. So we started running track in 7th grade. Initially, our first sport was basketball, but then when we were on the basketball court, we was like, dang, we're kind of fast. Like, we should try out for the track team. So we tried out for the track team 7th grade. And I started with the hurdles and things like that. And we started winning all of our track meets. So I'm like, let's transition into high school. So high school was the same thing. So our junior year in high school, that's when everybody started to recognize. It's like, who are the twins? Like they're pretty fast. Who are the twins? So that's when we took it serious. And then when we started getting phone calls from different universities, it was like, okay, I think this is something that we want to do. We can, go further. And yeah. Okay, you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I would say that we realized that when we realized we had the potential to be great, that's when we continued to pursue track all throughout middle school and high school. And like she said, when other people started realizing, dang, they're fast, they have the potential to go to college, then that's when we, kind of took it serious. I mean, and on top of that, it was something that we just enjoyed doing. So
I definitely think y'all made the right decision transitioning to basketball.
For real.
And coming into college, like what were your goals, specifically when coming to Maryland, academically, athletically, professionally, and personally?
I would say, most of us come into college not knowing what to expect, but my sister and I are kind of like the people that always like this to stay 2 steps ahead. Ever since we were freshmen in high school, we always have been big on manifestation, setting goals and stuff like that. So you would always find us like writing stuff in our mirrors, putting sticky notes everywhere, and doing like affirmations and stuff. So as a freshman, you have to have mandatory study hall. And at our old school, you had to have a 3.0 GPA to get out of study hall. So we made that goal with each other academically that we wanted to get out our freshman year before the season started. And, we did that. So that was just like a huge accomplishment for us. And athletically, of course, the goal is to be conference champ, but most importantly, we just want to have a healthy, injury-free season and, get stronger, especially coming into a more competitive conference here at Maryland.
I definitely agree with her for sure. Staying on top of our things was definitely something that we just kept in our minds. Yeah, like I said, I definitely agree with her.
Oh, that sounds good. And I especially resonate with you guys on the manifestation piece.
Yeah.
That's something that I believe in and I practice very faithfully. And it's something that I've seen in my life as well, like really help me to get to where I want to be. So now we're going to transition to talk a little bit more about between like the time at UMD. So what are you guys' current majors, minors, clubs, any of your school involvement?
So currently, our major right now is we're both pursuing journalism right now. We want to get in the the Philip Miller School or something like that. So we're trying to transition into that school right now. We both want to pursue the career of sports journalism, broadcasting, somewhere around those lines. That's always been our goal since high school, honestly. Currently, we're not in any clubs, but we would like to be a part of some. Maybe like, I don't know if there's a club called FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Maybe get a part of that. And then at my old school, I know my sister was a part of the Black Women United. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, Kat.
Yeah, so I was on the e-board for Black Women United, and they kind of just provide a place for women to use their platform to come together and empower each other. I think that was a great organization because it taught me how to kind of get out of my comfort zone and just connect with other Black women. And I think it was great. And another one was I was a docent for the African American History Museum. And, we are also a part of, the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. So, we kind of just want to stay involved. We like serving the community. So, yeah, just being more involved is kind of our focus, especially for new students.
I would say, with also being a student athlete, it is kind of hard to juggle those organizations. But like she said, you have to make time for it. So if you want to get that type of exposure, you definitely have to make time, to build on your resume.
Exactly. And I feel like especially with being a student athlete, having all of those extracurriculars in addition to like your sport, it really stands out to recruiters and like professionals in your industry when thinking about applying for jobs and interviewing and stuff like that, because it really shows like you're really good at time management and your commitment and dedication to all of your interests.
Yeah, exactly.
In addition to being a student athlete, what are some other things that you guys are passionate about?
Okay, I would say besides track, we're very passionate about sharing the gospel of God with other people. My mother is very religious. She has been such a huge inspiration in our lives. We grew up around godly filled women, growing up going to church. And I feel like that has molded us into the women that we are today. Being passionate about God in college kind of gets tough because some people kind of look at you differently. They don't want to include you in certain things. But we did make that commitment to serve God. So I feel like nothing else should matter. And we actually have an Instagram page right now that kind of focuses on, just sharing our lives as Christian believers. So yeah, y'all be sure to check that out.
You can't just mention the Instagram without telling everyone the handle for it.
Okay, it's called 2 Girls with Faith _ So yeah, y'all check that out. It's cool. It's good content. It's trying to just uplift people, motivate people, and just implement that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And going back a little bit, because I know you guys also have a sports journalism type of page going on. Do you guys want to plug that also?
Yes, yes. So that is also something that we're very passionate about. We're trying to grow our little page. So it's called what is it, at Cat Talk Sports?
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, it was originally supposed to be Qatari Talk Sports, Qatar, which is my name and my sister's name put together, Qatari, Kat and Ari. But my sister wasn't really being active, so I was like, I'm gonna make my own page. But now we're
I'm
about
gonna get on it.
yeah, she gets on it sometimes, and she, joins me as my co-host. So yeah, we're just trying to just leverage our experience in that field, kind of just grow it, talking about all different type of sports, reaching out to all athletes from University of Maryland, just, just kind of getting some exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
And I know y'all also have another account that you
Right.
mentioned. I know y'all are really
Oh
big
my
on the
God.
natural hair tip.
Yes.
Hair always on point. So go ahead and talk a little bit more about that. Plug your hair page.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely forgot about that. She's reminding me. So we have another Instagram. So it's called Qatari Organics, and the background behind that is that all throughout college and at our other school, a lot of people would always be like, "What do you put in your hair? What are some suggestions? Can you help me style my hair or rejuvenate my curls?" And I'm like, dang, I'm kind of tired of people asking. So let's make a YouTube or let's make a page so people can, get the information and tips. So yes, it's called Qatar Organics. We provide tips, daily hairstyles that men or women could use, certain products, things like that, that just to help people out of any race, any ethnicity. So yeah, definitely check out Qatar Organics.
All right, so everyone, after this podcast ends, or even while you're listening, you have 3 pages to go and follow to learn a little bit more about Kat and Ari and the things that they're into. All right, moving on to the next question. How have you guys balanced being students, athletes, and just being yourselves?
Honestly, here I would say, first of all, let's just say being a student athlete is not easy, nowhere near easy. But I think the biggest thing with balancing that is definitely time management and organization. Like that is the biggest thing. So personally, what I do to balance that is I have an agenda. I have to write out all my due dates and everything like that. And then once I cross it off, I know I'm done with it. I complete it, move on to the next thing. So that's kind of what I do. But you have to have a routine. If you don't have a routine, you're gonna be overwhelmed. Like literally, you're gonna be overwhelmed. And then with being myself, I would say just like she said, the prayer and things like that. Personally, that's what I do. If I'm overwhelmed with something, I pray, or I call my mom for guidance, or call Development. So.
Kat, anything to add?
Yeah, like she said, student athlete is not easy at all. But I've been a student athlete for so long, it kind of has become part of my lifestyle. So, in order to maintain your life as a student athlete, I feel like you have to have a balance, you have to have a routine, you have to know what you want to do. And, as far as being true to myself, I feel like I don't let outside people or negative people influence my life or my choices um that I make. I'm very adamant on the choices that I want to make for myself and what makes me happy. So
Lovely answer, guys. What does more than an athlete mean to you?
I would say that as an athlete, we get so many benefits, we get so many resources and tools that other people don't get. And I feel like it's about how you use your platform as an athlete to get ahead, to take those next steps in life. To me, more than an athlete is understanding that there's more to life than just sports. There's a whole nother world out there that we have to prepare to face. And like they say, the real world is not easy. Um, Athletes are kind of stereotyped as not knowing how to do anything else besides being good at their sports, right? But no, I feel like the world needs to see that we're capable of doing other things. We have the knowledge, we have the skills to do what we choose to do. And due to our competitive nature of being an athlete, I feel like we would excel at these things because we already know how to deal with adversity. Um, More than an athlete is finding that balance between the real world and your sport, personally.
And I think you guys are like perfect examples of like being athletes who don't completely like conform their entire identities to being an athlete. Like how you guys were just talking about all your different interests, all of your different pages and brands that you guys have created for yourself. And also like leveraging your identity as an athlete to help promote the other things that you're interested in.
Yeah, definitely. I agree because I feel like as athletes, we have a certain platform that we have to maintain. You have coaches watching you, you have, people looking up to you. So like she said, we use that because we know people are watching us to promote other things that we have interest in.
Yeah.
So it's just about, expressing your interest and the world outside of athletics in a way.
What are some things that you guys have struggled with, if any, adjusting to life in college?
So many.
Yeah, a
So
lot.
many. I would say the transition, especially coming to University of Maryland, has been probably one of the stressful things for us, because we were so worried about how many credits we're gonna have transferred. And in all actuality, people don't know, but us transferring to University of Maryland, it put us a year back. But that's okay because I feel like it kind of taught us how to overcome adversity, how to overcome obstacles. And I would say that coming here kind of put us in a position to where we're gonna be successful. And I don't regret coming here. So I feel like we took that risk for a greater outcome. And I feel like it's gonna be all worth it in the end.
I definitely agree. You guys are already on to some pretty big things from what I've seen. And the DMV is full of
Yeah,
opportunities.
exactly. That was our biggest thing. We knew we like literally when we got here, it was like there's so many opportunities. I don't know what to take, what internships. It was so many. So like she said, I think that transitioning over was a good thing. But it was not easy at all. It was not easy. We had a lot of intervention with our parents, Coach Bauman, but we definitely did overcome them.
And how specifically would you guys say that you were able to overcome the stress and the things that you were dealing with while making your transition?
I would say like last week, I'm gonna be real. Last week I had a mental breakdown. I was just crying because I got a bad grade on my test and I was homesick. Um, being so far away from home. I'm used to driving home. I'm used to getting in the car, driving 2 hours to go home and seeing my family. But I can't do that here. You gotta buy a plane ticket, and them plane tickets not cheap. So
At all?
it was just kind of like I was feeling overwhelmed. And one thing I had to do was remember that I'm here for a reason. God wouldn't have brought me this far just to see me fail. So I feel like that's something that we had to do. My sister and I, we're not roommates right now, but we're still in the same building. We just called each other on FaceTime and we had to just pray and ask God what his direction for us was. I would just say staying in prayer, staying around people that motivate you, that want to see you succeed, and just staying true to yourself. Don't fall into this world of temptation.
And I imagine like you guys are twins, obviously. So I imagine like wherever you go, because for the most part so far in your collegiate career, you guys have been together. So with making the transition, so being so far away from home, that there's some comfort and knowing that you at least will always have one person right there who understands what you're going through and knows where you come from and has the same values, beliefs, or whatever to like kind of keep you grounded.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. And when did you start to envision what your future would look like?
I mean, personally, I feel like we have a picture of what we envision our future to look like, but I think it's about the lens that we see it through. So I think my vision for my future began when we came to college, kind of, or I would say senior year of high school, freshman year, because I already knew what I wanted to do, and I've stuck with that. But being here at Maryland specifically, I'm like, wow, like I said, I have so many opportunities. I feel like I'm in a position to be successful. So I'm going to use those resources and tools that I have, to better my career and things like that. So I would say it started at a pretty young age for sure.
Yeah, I would say moving to Maryland from Texas, it was a culture shock, but I think it was for the better because we're surrounded around so many minority people in Maryland that want to do good, that want to have a good career, that are striving for success, specifically in the Black community. And I feel like that is what motivates us to want to do better as well. I just think that it's inspiring to see other Black people want to do good. So yeah.
I completely agree with you on that last part. That for me, because I'm also a transfer student, that was one of the things that kind of drew me back to Maryland, because I know the DMV is full of so many successful Black people and so many like Black people who are like trying to do well. And when you're in an environment where it's like there's so few of you or whatever, you start to feel kind of like lonely or isolated. So coming back to this is something that has definitely given me a lot of energy and been motivating me to kind of like stick to my goals and do the things that I need to do to get to where I want to be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I
Definitely.
agree with you.
And what are some of the ways that you guys are positioning yourselves for success right now?
I would say so. We are currently trying to get connected with the Big Ten Network to, we just put that on our resume. Excuse me. And then we're also working as well for Terp Host, and we have another job as well as far as like in the media industry, and then just saving in general, just saving our money for just and more important things. And as you can see, my sister and I have been pretty ducked off. Like we haven't really been going to events like that, and that's just because we're struggling with our classes. So we think that the best thing for us to do right now is just to focus on our grades, focus on things that matter right now, and then work now, party later. That's our mindset right now. Work now, party later. So, yeah.
I completely agree. Okay, now we're going to transition to talking about something completely unrelated to being a student athlete. Well, still related, but a little bit more unrelated. So I know you guys are half Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about Hispanic Heritage Month, which actually just ended yesterday. And I know you guys have been participating with the things that we've been posting on the SAAC and Maryland Made page in regard to Hispanic Heritage Month. You guys just did a takeover yesterday, but now that we have you here on the podcast, we can kind of talk about it a little bit more. So for those who aren't familiar with Hispanic Heritage Month, it's celebrated between September 15th to October 15th each year. And it's just basically a time to celebrate, honor, recognize the contributions, the history, the culture of Latinx Americans in our country.
Mhm.
And so for you guys coming from your background, your heritage, what does Hispanic Heritage Month mean to you?
So first I want to say that my sister and I are very close to our Mexican side more than we are to our, African American side. Um, but to me, I feel like it is important because it really validates us and our existence in the world. Um, and it kind of shapes who we are now, so
Yeah, and I think we have to understand that there are so many ethnicities that make up a place in a community, and that's what makes that's what makes societies unique. So celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month and dedicating time to recognize other ethnicities reminds us that we're all together in this world,
yeah.
and that we're not alone.
And Kat, you just mentioned how like your heritage kind of shaped your identity. Can you expand a little bit more on that?
Yeah, I would say that my family has always been an inspiration to us, and I admire them for being so active in the Hispanic community. I feel like because of their love and support that we get from them, it kind of has motivated us to kind of be proud about our heritage. A lot of people a lot of people kind of shy away from being Hispanic because of the stereotypes, like, oh, you know, they can't do this, they can't do that. But I feel like, especially with any type of, um, losing my thoughts, with any heritage, I feel like you should be proud of it and embrace it. So.
Ari, anything else to add?
No.
And okay, so what would you guys say is your favorite part of your identities?
My favorite part, personally, is that, so obviously on the outside I look black and things like that, but on the inside, I am Hispanic. So I think my favorite part about it is just being able to be around my family, have that traditional culture. We love dancing, the music, the food.
Yeah.
That's definitely my favorite part. So, and also, every year it's a tradition for my family and I to go to Mexico. So recently we went to Tulum, and then the year before we went to Mexico City. And Mexico City was just different. Like, I've seen so many just families connecting. It's just a whole different world out there.
Yeah.
So I love that we're able to just travel back to, the home roots and see the different, things that people do.
I think people think Latina is supposed to look a certain way, like she said, um, light skin, curly hair, but there are so many different ways that we look. We have dark Hispanics. I would say my favorite part about my identity is my skin color. I want to see more Black Latinos on my screen. I want to see how many Black and brown Latinas there are out there. My community is everything to me, and like I said, I'm proud to be a Black Latina.
It's interesting because I was actually just listening to another podcast last night, and it kind of started to touch on this same topic. And one of the hosts, she was talking about how she went to, I believe she went to Colombia, and I can't remember the specific city that she was visiting, but she said that it was like 70% like Black Colombians. And she was saying how like shocked she was, and how like for most of her like life growing up, like her mindset was kind of like small, and thinking that, oh, like what you guys were just saying, like, oh, a Latina or like a person of like Hispanic heritage, they're fair skinned,
Yeah.
they have certain features about them. But then when you actually like go to these places, you realize, no, it's like a lot more diverse than what the media typically portrays it as being. And there are actually like a lot more Black Hispanics than like what most people know.
Yeah,
So like knowing that, what do you think are some things that you guys could do to kind of help bring to the attention for most people that like Latin America is not like what you guys think, like it's a lot more diverse or whatever?
I think what we can do a better job of is kind of um, advertising that more on our pages, or maybe doing a video in Spanish. Like, if we do the Cat Talk Sports, we do the video in Spanish to let people be more aware of our heritage. And then I would say just the information, like just posting some little infos on Instagram and things like that, to just kind of let people know, like, hey, this is what we are, this is what we're proud of, and we're not afraid to show it.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like most people kind of like when they see that we talk Spanish, they're like, they're Black. How do they know Spanish? But that's looking on the outside. They don't know what's going on in the inside. And I feel like we kind of have the best of both worlds. We're Black and we're Hispanic. That's I mean, that mix don't get better than that. Um, so we're living, kind of good side. So when we go with our family, we kind of get this like on Christmas and Thanksgiving. On New Year's Eve, on Christmas Eve, we spend our time with our Hispanic family. And then on Christmas Day, that's when we spend our time with our Black side of the family. And I feel like it's a good mix, because when we all come together, it's just like great vibes.
Yeah.
Everybody gets along, and it's just awesome to be able to live both sides like that.
And now, like with being in Maryland, being away from home, how have you guys been able to like stick to your roots? And are there like places, like restaurants or different clubs, communities that you guys have found to kind of like keep you connected?
No, not necessarily. Actually, we haven't. Like, I think we need to go get some tacos or something. But no, we definitely haven't really just stuck to our roots yet. We definitely plan to we're trying to explore more. So we definitely need to find either an organization, a restaurant, something that reminds us of home and of family. So that's definitely next on our list for sure.
I mean, for me personally, I said that I was going to, because it's been a while since I've been around my family. I said that I was going to try to learn one new Spanish word every day and try to use that Spanish word at least once throughout the day so that I can kind of just keep a refresher of the words because um I'm kind of losing my Spanish skills, but I'm just that was just my personal thing that I wanted to do, and then watching Netflix shows in Spanish, with subtitles so that I can understand, just kind of just staying in tune with that. That's really helped me.
Nice, lovely. Okay. Now we're gonna transition again, and we're gonna talk about beyond Maryland and beyond your time as a student athlete. So what are some goals you have here at Maryland? It can be on the track, off the track, whatever.
So on the track at Maryland, I definitely plan to go far. I definitely want to go to the NCAA's. Then from there, I want to run for the national Mexican team. That is definitely in the works of trying. I'm trying to get my dual citizenship and run for the Mexican team. That would be awesome. And I think that I'm in a great position to do that, especially with Coach Bauman and Coach Siebert. Um, that's definitely what I want to do on the track. And then off the track, just like I said, possibly working for one of the major broadcast shows out here. Maybe it's the Washington or Baltimore Ravens. Somewhere like after I graduate, I definitely want to be working for a big time sports team.
Yeah.
So that's definitely my goals.
For me, I would say academically, I want to just just maintain a good GPA. I feel like most people they're so fixated on a GPA that they think that it's what creates them or kind of just molds them. But truth be told, that GPA is not what gets you a job. It's about your skills, your personality. But I do want to maintain a decent GPA, but I'm not gonna go and stress about it or worry myself over it. Um, but just maintain good grades and just be successful in my classes. And then I would say academically is, like she said, just to be healthy, and run for the Mexican team. So
And could you guys let everyone know what event you guys run so that we can look
um,
out for you when the season comes?
yeah, so we both do the same exact event. You're gonna see us going head to head. If you keep up with track, but we both do the 100-meter hurdles, the 400-meter hurdles, and whatever else coach puts us in. So yeah,
Four
y'all
by four.
yeah, and a 4x4.
Yeah, sometimes, but yeah.
And what are some goals you hope to achieve personally, professionally, and in the near future? You kind of spoke on it a little bit, but if you have any like more specific career goals.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So I mean, like she said, we wanted to. Our end goal is to be working in the sports industry for a big time team. That is the goal. But further than that, down the line, I feel like I want to open up my own gym, my own hurdle clinic for those students that need assistance, that need help, that need that one-on-one time. I feel like that would help them, giving them a hurdle clinic on the technique, how to hurdle and how to get into college. Because we don't really get resources on how to get to college. It's kind of like, oh, you got to be fast, you got to do this, you got to run a certain
Be
time. But a
great.
lot of people don't really know that it's more to that behind it. So just a hurdle clinic is definitely what I want to do in the long run.
It also sounds like you have a little bit of like mentorship coach voted within it as well.
What was that?
I said it also sounds like you have a little bit of like mentorship kind of welded within that idea as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just kind of want to be that guide to people because I feel like I've been pretty successful in my hurdle career. I'm not no expert, but I kind of have a little bit of knowledge. Hurdling for about like 5 years now. And after college, it'll probably be extended. But I just kind of want to help people, so that it can make their transition to college a little easier.
All right. And what's next for you guys? I know it's kind of a vague question.
I feel like that's something that we're still trying to figure out. I can't really say what is precisely next for us. I think it's about just following God's plan, staying true to the process, and most importantly, trusting the process. Like I said, we have our goals. We know what we want to do after college. Maybe go to grad school, take that extra COVID year, and just get our school paid for. But our end goal is to be successful. Of course, that's everybody's goal. But just I think staying in the process is most important right now.
Yeah. Agreed.
And is there any additional advice you would like to offer other student athletes?
Just I guess prioritize practice and always use a calendar to plan your week out. Like that like I said, that's definitely helped me be successful. I don't have it all figured out yet, but I'm definitely using different methods on how to be successful in the classroom. And then always ask questions. I was always one to be afraid to ask questions in class because I didn't want to look dumb. But like I said, do not be afraid to ask questions because you never know. That question can help you pass a test. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
And 9 times out of 10, if you have a question, somebody else has the same question.
Exactly.
That's true. I would say don't stress over a GPA. My sister and I, we had, a 3.5 GPA coming in from our old school. And, coming to UMD, that kind of just all goes away because your GPA doesn't transfer with you. And we were kind of like, what? Like, all that hard work we put in is gone. The dean's list, all of that is gone. It's kind of like a fresh start here. And I feel like a fresh start is kind of good. And like I said, a GPA doesn't make or break you, but it's about the experiences that you gain and the things that you do with it. So that's my advice to y'all. So y'all run with it.
All right, well, that's everything that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for your time. Before we go, if you guys want to let everyone know where they can find and connect with you on social media, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever.
Yeah, so my Instagram handle is at Ariana Ealy, and my LinkedIn is the same Ariana Ealy. So go find me and follow me.
For me, mine is cat.talksports. And then my LinkedIn is my full name, Kattiana Ealy-Pulido. So make sure we connect and network.
And don't forget to remind everyone about Two Girls with Faith and all of your other brands you got going on as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave a comment about that on the podcast on Maryland Made, but the other handles are Two Girls with Faith and then Qatari Organic. So y'all be sure to check us out everywhere. Y'all gonna see us everywhere. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for being here with me today. It was great getting to talk with you this morning, and I really appreciate everything that you guys have done.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.